than I had intended to be because like 25 minutes ago, I was on top of that mountain right there. And so I hiked up, which I like to do on Sundays. It's just been a while since I've done it, but it was a nice day and I didn't feel like being inside in the gym. But I hike up, like this, so then I get quite sweaty on my back. And then I jumped on the gondola, came down and jumped on my bike and ride down the hill at 45 kilometers an hour with the cold wind. And it's amazing how it can cool one off. So just want to say hi to everyone. Happy Sunday. Hi, it's nice to connect. I've been meaning to do a few more live tours, and I'm just a couple of streets away from Bear Street, but there is an ice festival going on. The snow sculptures are gone. Now, while I was away in Vancouver, it got well above freezing here. And so that caused a lot of melt. But I'm just obviously, right? And Vancouver's having its hi there is having its warmest winter. Hi everyone, happy Sunday. Having its warmest winter in something like 46 years, or it might be the first winter where it didn't have snow on the ground kind of at all, I guess. Do you see how it looks kind of white behind me? I'll just reset the screen. Oh no, didn't work. The blue comes out, but I'm around back of the of the White Museum back here. So I just thought it'd be fun to show you a couple of the old cabins of Banff just for a second. Let me just curve this around. So yeah, so I biked over to the gondola and then I hiked up Sulphur Mountain to about 5.5 kilometers or so. Well, I do, by the way, have cleats on my shoes because look how much ice is around. But right here, this little old cabin over here belonged to Bill Pito, one of the early mountain outfitters and guides who then went off to the Boer War and then came home and stayed here for years. It was moved. It was moved to this spot in 1933, but that's what an early Bath cabin would look like. Um, yes, those of you in the Midwest and right out to, I had a fabulous photo sent to me from Cape Cod with ice out on the ocean as well. Here's the Jack Sinclair cabin. He ended up eventually in Africa and sold his cabin to Dave White. Hi there, hence the White Museum, and then Peter White um, and his wonderful wife were mountain guides and artists, and then got the whole BAM Center going, which is why we're such an artistic destination on top of being such an outdoorsy destination. Look at this; they've been clearing some branches off trees. If I took you around, well, there's areas that I can't really take you to. There's a magpie, right? They stay all winter. Incredibly intelligent birds, by the way. But if I took you around really the whole community, just about on average a kilometer out, there's some um, free chocolate. You can go into those cabins, by the way, yeah, with as part of a guided tour. So yes, yeah, Bill Vroom. These are all names we have in Banff, and you see these are the old hitching posts because until 1911 it was only horse or horse-drawn sled for carriage here in Banff, which is quite late, really, and that's when a car was or a road was finished from Calgary out here. So yeah, I thought we'll just go over the river and then we'll walk over to Burr Street. And I'm just between. Look at this. This is how warm it is. I believe it's about maybe 2 degrees above freezing out here, which for us is crazy warm. We can be very artsy with reflections if we want to. That's quite beautiful. It really is beautiful there. But after such a nice snowy start to winter. Oops. There's, I've just been breaking through the ice. So now you know how much a polar bear weighs enough to break the ice. Huh? But I was in the river yesterday morning. I wasn't this morning. This morning, I did a little clip on Facebook because I came down here to buy a baguette from the Wildflower Bakery, and you need to come down because I just make so many. But here's the river looking just beautiful. I would still walk on it, but I'd be careful. But yeah, I'll just turn around, point this out. So there is Big Sulphur Mountain. That's why Banff is here, of course, because it has the natural hot springs that come out. Even the Vermilion Lakes, which are kind of, the stables are behind these trees, and then the Vermilion Lakes in the distance. There's a natural hot water source there that keeps an area of it thawed always. But this is lovely and warm. But so what I did, I rode my bicycle up to where the gondola is and then hiked up to the top. But the trail was really being used, quite icy at the base. And then actually the snow conditions were good. So I just got some young people here. I'm not going to put. Hi. I don't like putting the camera in their face. The canoe club is just down in the distance, and that's where we keep a hole open to plunge, of course. Um, I, I listen to some really interesting podcasts. So I listen to podcasts all the time when I'm on these tours. And oh, that's an excellent question. But one of them is one doctor who is a real expert on longevity. It's like, I don't know why anyone would jump into cold water. So why I'm not there, it's a great question. I would have liked to go to the Winter Olympics. The Of course I would have liked to go. I mean, I love the Olympics, but I know as so many people here in this valley know so many of the athletes. In fact, a former schoolmate of my son's just finished one of the men's cross country races, and he didn't medal, but he did for a very young fella. I think he's 21 or 22. He placed around 20th, which bodes really well for his future because to win in cross country, you really get older than that. So we know so many of them. And of course, it's so spread out. And I was in Milan not terribly long ago. And I do have a trip running specifically starting in Milan this coming October. So if you're interested, we do have spaces available on that trip, by the way. Here, I'm just going to cut across here. We're going to head back up Crossbow Avenue, obviously along the Bow River, and then we'll head up to Bear Street itself. So there's, but yeah. So of course, well, thank you. Thank you very much. That's appreciated. I am, of course, addicted to Olympics. We're all the training ground. The next town over, Canmore, only 25 minutes away, is where much of the Canadian Olympic team is based. And then and then Calgary, of course, is the center for the speed skating, which, oh, the Norwegian guy just broke an Olympic record. This morning, my time would have been afternoon there. It was an incredible skate. An Italian woman won the 3,000 yesterday, and she beat her best. I mean, this is that home ice advantage. Beat her best by so much. Someone's just asking about my son. Well, he's really good. He's busy. He's in second year university, and so his fourth term. And I guess today is Super Bowl in the States, which you know what? I have to call my friends in Michigan because I spent Super Bowl with them a couple of years ago. It was really fun, but it's not something I follow. But one of his roommates is a real American football fan. So I know that they're all cooking and stuff, and they're going to have a bit of a Super Bowl party at their house. But he is flying down to Australia on Tuesday. Um, his grandfather passed away very extremely peacefully in November, but they're going to have a celebration of life. So that's the advantage for me flying so much is I have a lot of the air miles, so I use those up so you can go. But yes, that's right. I would watch it for Bad Bunny singing, um, but that's probably the extent I'll be watching Olympic replays. So here's the Canada House Gallery. This is one of our art galleries through here, and lots of neat art. By the way, Bluebird Cafe, Bluebird Restaurant, I only had breakfast there once, and I didn't love it, but I've been hearing really, really good things about it lately. So I mean to give it a try. Now, this is something you won't see here in the Rockies, and that is because we don't have salmon. And so the bears would love to catch a fish. It's pretty hard to catch a lone trout. The top of Mount Rundle up above us. So you see how dry it is out here because it's been above freezing. In fact, yesterday afternoon, partly for exercise and partly for home management, I chipped ice around the house. This is all Inuit, by the way. These are Inuit sculptures, which are just so fantastic to see. Um, but yeah, it is. We're showing right around a high of freezing all week. So I'm hoping to go skiing tomorrow because it has been snowing out at the hill. Now I can hear some music playing. So there is live music. So there's special event ahead. So this is where all the snow sculptures were, and now they and I think they probably made an executive decision to pull them down because they were melting so much. Three bears over here. Where if you're a meat eater, they do bison ribs. Um, and then just beyond is the Wildflower Bakery. That's where I was down this morning buying a baguette, and and they're just lovely in there. And then you have old Jolene's Tea House, one of the oldest buildings in Banff, 1880s. But so here's the new, you see here, a little Banff sign here, which is lovely to have. But what I wanted to show everybody is, you know what I should do is I should turn around for 1 second, say hello again. Uh, there's a whole family getting a see. There's a Banff scene, and of course, beautiful Cascade Mountain in the distance. Oh, there we go. There we are. See, posing. But there's live music playing. These festivals that we get means that we get very busy on the weekends, but it's great fun. My bike is locked up over on the main avenue there. And here, let me just spin this around. I do have my headphones in, so I'm not sure you'll be able to see too well or hear the music, I should say. But they have different artists all day long. It's very, family oriented. The Tavern, by the way, is a pizza place over there, and they give you honey with your pizza, which is sort of a fun mix. But here we go. This started yesterday. And here are the different ice carvings. And I went up yesterday at Lake Minnewanka, and there was a big hole where they've been pulling the ice out so that they have ice to carve. So there at Canada from Canada. It really is a fabulous art. Now, I was out at Lake Louise there um, just about a week ago, and there were fewer carvings at Lake Louise than there normally are. And that was mostly because there was just so much snow that hadn't been able to clear it much away. That might have been some of the impetus for this. Isn't that cool? That's a praying mantis. It is just gorgeous. That's lovely. So here, we'll just keep moving around so we can see them all for a few minutes. So the art of ice. So this is a competition. There are 2 blocks, 2 hour sculptures. Sorry, there's my, if you can see that. So when we have the snow sculptures, it's not really a competition. You can vote on your favorite one, um, but it's just the sheer fun of doing this. So this is called the race. Look at all this. So a bunch of these are already here this morning when I came by, but they're obviously working away. And then they've got all the insulation there to keep it cold here. Oh, the sculptures are wonderful. Now, I fully admit that I have never had the real fine motor skills to be a real artist this way, but it just must be such a skill because it can break as well, right? Um, this is one that looks like Greek writing on it to me, which is fairly interesting. Don't know if you're hearing the music through my ears, but let me, yeah, please do not touch the sculptures. I totally agree. Okay, that's so I think that's actually an owl carrying a fish. And then I've got a bighorn sheep over here. Lovely to see. There's a snail. That is creative stuff. Must just be wonderful. I'm sorry, I didn't see what the funny comment was, but as from Ammonoid of this audacity, and they are Canadian and Philippines. Often joke, well, it's sort of a half joke. Nothing works out here in Western Canada without Filipinos. Um, so the question, good question. Now the ice literally comes from Lake Minnewanka. They just go up to the lake and cut blocks of ice out. So it doesn't have to travel very far. You might have seen, I put up a little video last week where we were sawing into the ice for the hole. And I mean, I climbed in because it was probably um, oh 2 feet by 2 feet, I think. Hello, mountain lion or cougar. Hey, who doesn't like a cougar, eh? Part of its wing has broken off, but it's a picture. I can see that they were working off a picture. I love the light coming through as well. That's just gorgeous. That's such a neat thing. Another bighorn sheep as well. We have there's a frog. That's fun. That's actually really fun. We have 2 varieties of toads here in the national park, and we do, believe it or not, have a snake. It's a garter snake that must have a pretty boring life because it just has to sleep or stay frozen most of the time. Look at that light. I know there's a truck out behind, but this is just perfect. Ah, so let's go over and things happening here. I'm not sure will they move them around. I don't know if they can move them around. They're probably quite fragile. You got an open fire pit, and might have seen the other day I was down here and they were roasting marshmallows, and I stopped and roasted a marshmallow, and they were good, just wooden sticks, so you just put them in the fire after. Yeah, that Greek one at the back is lovely. Oh, it's just, and then you've got live music, and there's a schedule for the music all day long. But it's just a fun celebration. Um, ice sculptures up in New York. That's surprising. But yeah, so this is for us very, very warm. Last February, we got warm as well. Now, the downside, it's nice and look at the light coming through the ice here. Um, but the downside is it pretty much wrecks the snow for cross country skiing, that sort of thing. And I keep every year thinking I'm going to buy some new cross country skis, and then we go and get these warm spells in February. Hey, by the way, I just like this kind of use reusable cup. So I've got a water bottle in the back of my bag. I try never to buy plastic. I can help it. Hey, that gentleman, that was a lovely, lovely voice. Uh, okay. I don't know if you're hearing the gentleman through my ears. But, this is our permanent sculptures, and it is about the melting ice. So it's pretty dramatic. So that's just a fun little event. And so you can Google all the different that are going on. Um, no, I didn't think you could hear him. That's why I'm not going to hang around too much. Just the camera on, um, but yeah, that's all. So I have a business license here in Banff, and so my license um, goes to these sort of events. So basically, we run ourselves as a town. See, it looks like I have a bright idea, doesn't it? But we run ourselves as an independent, like a town council and everything. And people ask me, when will I run for council? Never. Um, when I used to live in Canmore, I was in charge of economic development for a couple of years. And in small towns, everybody has an opinion. When you try and go to the store on a Sunday, it's you get stopped and talked to. But I like our council, and I think they care for the community. But everything that has to do with kind of economic development outside of running the town, that all goes to Banff Lake Women's Tourism. And so that's my business license. And so this is this idea. And they just actually passed a new rule that there will be no festivals or events like this from May long weekend, which is Queen Victoria's birthday, right through Canadian Thanksgiving, which is October now. And they literally changed that because we are so busy that they don't want to try and attract more people. Someone's bike has been here for a little while, I think, because it's just so full. But this time of year to have these events, oh, it was so very interesting. So this restaurant, Saffron, is probably my favorite of the Indian restaurants in town. Um, but I think they're just doing a renovation. So I was worried they were going to change, but that's where you can get the Janus food and everything. And I'm going right by the Irish pub as well, St. James Gate. Uh, the owner I know, very nice guy. He's from Vancouver. He's not Irish, but you got to have an Irish pub in every town, and kind of the rules. We're pretty spoiled. We've got somewhere around 200 places to eat. Um, so any more bears? So bears are still asleep. Although when we get this warm, you do wonder. I haven't seen anything in the local news, and it's a big deal when one wakes up. So there's no bears. Lynx, yes. I was at Lake Louise the other day. I'm going to go hopefully tomorrow. I'm really hoping because I saw the big lynx a few weeks ago, which is lovely. Cougars. Oh, yesterday, no. So I haven't heard of a cougar spotting recently, but yesterday I was in the industrial grounds doing really exciting things, recycling, and I washed the car. And then great big coyote. Um, I just want to show you this as well, but I'll keep asking this question. See, we are a smoke-free environment. And remember, cannabis is totally legal in this country. But the idea is that because we're a national park, that the air stays as clear as possible. And I think that's really an important thing. There's the visitor center. So there was a great big coyote. Um, and I did put up in the subscriber group. You have to try and find the picture because I did kind of snap one behind. But then another great big coyote crossed behind me. And then when I drove around on by the train track, I saw another one. Now, these are all large males. They will sometimes hunt in packs. But what happens this time of year, um, usually, usually more like March, but it could be now because it's warmer, is the mums and dads kick the young ones out of the dens and they have to go fend for themselves. So we start to see a lot more coyotes this time of year. Now I realize you see coyotes and even in urban areas across North America, but these ones here are doing what they need to do, right? They're out hunting. I do like to point out these trees, by the way. These are silver birch over here, which really don't grow at this elevation, but they planted a few in the city. We have the aspen trees. Why don't we just head out across Banff Avenue for a minute? Um, there we go. Nice little camper van makes me very jealous. It's just this view down there, isn't that just always a view of a lifetime? And I'll tell you what's happening up at the Banff Center. Because, like I say, people think this is all pure outdoors, but we have all these artistic events going on. So we've got the real film screenings. Ah, that's deluxe, and then artist talk with Ryan Vanderhoot. I think he is. Oh, I think he's one of the carvers here, snow carvers. Yeah, see, there's theaters going on, and then there's musicians in residence. Oh, and that's interesting. Ensemble Paramaribo. That is the capital of Suriname. Used to be Dutch Guyana. Paramaribo must be a connection with that. But yeah, there's these kind of things on all the time. And then Sharon Lockhart is in the art gallery up there too. Um, so yeah, there's all sorts of. But yeah, no. In terms of animals, I could put a little clip up on Facebook as well. I ran into a couple of deer as I was hiking up today, which was nice earlier on, and they were just eating away at a tree that had fallen. Look at that light, though. So here's our community foundation. So it is, we are. And there's that dodgy guy. See? Hi, everybody. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to share some of those ice carvings with you. And just like, oh, so yeah, I'm actually, I took the whole way with my wife. And so I'm going to sit down and get some lunch. I haven't decided where, but somewhere. I used to go up to the Banff Brewing Company because they have a black pilsner that I like, but they also had this just absolutely delicious hummus. So you can still have like a vegetarian healthy, and then they got rid of their hummus. So yeah, so I'm gonna have something nice. But it is a beautiful day. This is our central square, which is circle, but the Ravens. So there's they're just at the moment, but really it's showing warm all next week. And so we really needed to winter to come back. Now it is windy, but the wind is what is a Chinook wind formation. Is the surface of air on the Pacific has compressed warm air down and pushed it across the prairies. So Calgary, it's the city of and 15 degrees Celsius for the day. Yeah, Lethbridge in the south of the province was nearly 20. So it's my pleasure to share with everyone. And it's so nice to connect. So what's next few days? So I might be going away in about a week or so, but I'll let you know. Hey, I'm from Michigan. I mentioned Michigan because a couple of years ago with friends, I actually went to their house for the big football thing. Sorry, I was gonna say the Grey Cup, that's the Canadian one, Super Bowl. But yeah, so got lots of people I really love in Michigan. I'd love to catch up. So I'm gonna sit down and get a little food, and then I'm gonna go home and shower this stinky body from hiking. Um, where am I going? I haven't decided. So we'll see. But I'm definitely in France in March, and then Switzerland, and then Portugal. And by the way, Portugal absolutely has oh, do please send me a close up. But Portugal, we were trying to squeeze one more person onto that trip, so there's definitely no more space on that. But please spread the word that there is space on our trip to Italy in October, and it's an excellent trip. It's similar to one I did last year with a few tweaks, including staying in the Republic of San Marino. So that's sort of fun. And I will be staying in Liechtenstein too, which is pretty cool on my trip to Switzerland. So, ladies and gentlemen, lots of love. I'm just about back at Bear Street, but I go back where my bike is there. Hey, so thanks for connecting. So nice to be with everyone. And I wish you were all here. I would have organized a group lunch. Anyway, thanks for the support. Take care.